Yeah? Okay. So, good morning. Welcome to Sunrise and to this sacred land and to this auspicious moment on the planet. My name is Rita Hraiz, and how can I introduce myself? I'm a mother of 4. My children range from 28 to 9 years old. I'm sure they'll be dipping in and out, some of them. And for the last 25 years, my study has been ageless wisdom, which is basically comprises of all the different paths of consciousness that lead to the one understanding. So I'm going to be sharing a little bit of that. I would consider myself a tantrika, and by that I mean that when I was very young, as most of you here today, could very strongly feel energy as a current passing through my body. And as I got older, that energy just became the fire of bliss and just a lot of kundalini pouring through. And I'm grateful to say that I've sat with various different masters, and it's really helped me to self-realize and awaken in many levels to all of our potentiality. So today the talk that I'm wishing to share and inspire you, primarily because I feel so much of how so many people are in deep fear around the paradigm shift that we're going through, and you know, the changes that are happening on this planet, and those feelings of doom and gloom and that impress into our consciousness because we just see such crazy actions happening. So what I would love to share with you is my understanding around the divine plan. Because also my study is esoteric astrology, so I'd like to share it from an esoteric perspective of the beauty of what's unfolding, and inspire that we can all deepen in our alignment with the source of creation of all that we are. So, how many of you here consider yourselves to be conscious light workers in service, just so I know who I'm talking to? Yeah? Okay, so I'm just going to start off with a basic constitution from the ageless wisdoms and esoteric perspective of our beingness, of our bodies, and to share with you of a way that we can consciously align with that source energy so that we can heighten our vibration and attract so much more flow into our lives, so that we can start to live our soul's purpose or our dharma, and to really do what we've come to do without feeling blocked and held back. And you know, I just would like to share some of that process. So we have a physical body, as you know, and we have an etheric body and a light body. And our etheric body, which is made up of fine matrices of light, contains within it a lot of the stress and trauma that has been imbued since we've been children. Our light body contains within it the actual divine blueprint of all the merit that you've accumulated from all of your previous lives through every good deed, word and action. We also have an emotional body that's a separate vehicle, a mental body, it's another separate vehicle, a soul and a spirit. So the soul itself is, each one of us has a unique, beautiful, unfolding matrix of light that continues to change form and shape and geometry from every good deed, word and action throughout all of our lives. That actually is what's making the beauty and the shape of our soul. And above that is our spirit, or in esoteric languaging, it's called the monad. It's the actual fiery flame, the cosmic fire aspect of the one, of the fragment of the one that people call God, or the divine. And that aspect of ourselves, our spirit, that is so vast and magnificent, and it is actually cosmic fire. Each of our lifetimes becomes a purpose of building our spine to be able to take the thrust of this fire. So to be able to prepare ourselves to have integration with the spirit of all that we are, all that we've ever been, to be able to radiate that light outwardly. And there is a whole sequence of unfolding on a chakric level of the way that we come into this unfolding of our awakening. So I'd like to just briefly go through that today, in case I'm sounding boring and you've been to talks that I've done before. So the first stage of this awakening is when we become still enough and aware enough to hear a program that's imprinted into us just by being alive and in a body. A negative program that is self-critical and judgmental and continually puts ourselves down and then puts other people down and is in a state of separation and judgment. That's when the throat center is spinning in an anti-clockwise spiral. So as you know, we've got these 7 major chakras, 21 minor chakras, and also 1,000 meridian points in our body. These are all atoms of energy that store information from previous lives and continue to accrue energy as we become light workers on the path in a conscious way. So once we start to hear this negative imprint programming that's just can't help itself but continually puts ourselves down and says, God, I'm so stupid, or, you know, just it's that continuous, like a motor that's running. And once we can catch that and recognize this is not us, this is what we've been imbued with, and we make a conscious choice to use our mouth to say uplifting, positive, inspiring things, the wheel, that disc, stops turning in an anti-clockwise spiral and it starts going clockwise, and energy changes, because what happens is it aligns to the sacral center, and our sacral center is where all the chi, all the creativity is stored. Our sacral center, this holy place where we even grow our babies inside of us, which is the fire and the power behind our capacity to manifest. This energy becomes drawn up to the throat center through our ability to be in right speech, as the Buddhists would call it, and then what happens is we go through what's called an initiation of right relationship, because we become in right relationship with ourselves, because we're no longer putting ourselves down in a negative way. And in this very first stage of awakening, when that happens, we get an increase of creative energy, an increase of chi, an increase of ability to feel energy pass through our hands and start to feel it pass through our heart, and we have an ability to have more communion and contact with and sensitivity to feel the trees and the different plants and the energies. And that's how all of the study of homeopathy came from, the sensitivity, for instance, around when this alignment through the throat center and the sacral center comes. You know, it's just being able to discern the different energies from different plants and different people. And at this first stage of awakening, we become more often feeling and seeing energy and a bit more psychic. But it's not the full caboodle. It's not, you know, we haven't fully awoken. It's just the first stage. And at this stage, we make a conscious decision that we're just exhausted with being selfish and self-absorbed and self-centered. And we no longer want to be in that track of consciousness, want to start doing positive things and help people. But it's prior to going through the next initiation, which is all about discernment and discrimination, and actually knowing where to wisely put our energy and how to help and who to serve. Because until we get to the third stage, which is when the brow center opens, we can trip and fall back into the emotional treadmill, which we get locked on, which is where humanity up until now has been. So as I'm talking about this, and I'm going to jump in and out of this conversation of building our spine and developing our being to be able to really receive the thrust of all that we are, just want to just talk about it individually and collectively. So up until now, humanity hasn't been awakened. So collectively, this is the first time. This is why this is such an auspicious time. What a time to celebrate. You know, this is the first time that we as a collective are coming into this divine, beautiful awakening where collectively the brow center is being opened. And that means to be able to step out of the matrix of doom and gloom, to be out of that locking where we're held in a place of powerlessness, feeling that we're in separation from other people and thinking that others have power over us. And so in all the different systems, all the different traditions, all the different religions, that the place of attainment of where we're attempting to go is for this development to happen in our body, that our brow center can be open so that we can in each moment be present to witness the good, the true and the beautiful. It's a whole different ball game than being locked in doom and gloom with the brow center shut and to continue to project our disharmony, our own lack of inner peace, our own separation, our own inner warring onto the earth. So as we come into the alignment with all that we are, and we earn the right for this beautiful unfolding in our body, then we actually start to radiate the light of tranquility. We start to radiate total inner peace. And we actually do some real healing on this earth. And we become geomancers that can walk to the sacred places and pour the prayer of all that we are into the earth just by being. So, coming back to this second initiation, this second stage of awakening, where we develop discernment and discrimination and where we can finally liberate ourselves from the wheel of samsara, this emotional treadmill where we're in a continual reaction to, in an irritated place, an aggravation, and having our buttons pressed by just our mother walking into the room, or by somebody just saying something that trips the switch and we get upset. You know, that's until we develop the stillness, the sentience, the love, the wisdom and the compassion to be able to put ourselves into another person's shoes, to truly put ourselves so that we can feel how another person feels, so that we can understand why they are, how they are, and have forgiveness and understanding and wisdom to not let it aggravate or upset us. And I have to say that is very difficult with teenagers. I mean, being a mum and all that, you know, it's not always the easiest thing in the world. So that means then at this second stage, then it's important to make the time to create the space to meditate and make our alignment with the source of who we are, so that we can actually deepen into sentiency. We can deepen into self-reflection and creating space within. And then we're not so easy to get ruffled, and we're not caught in the wheel. I love the words of Sogyal Rinpoche when he has a beautiful song and he sings, "Rest in natural great peace, this exhausted mind, beaten helplessly by karma and neurotic thoughts. Rest in natural great peace," just to rest. To simply, just like a glass of muddy water, if you don't stir it, all the dirt will settle until the water on the top just becomes clear like a lake. And that's a little bit like our emotional body. It's about being able to just find rest within ourselves. So today, as I share all of this information and share some of the telepathic downloads that I've been blessed with seeing about insight of where we're going as a collective, I really love you to just be aware of your body as I'm talking, and just really start to come to that place of awareness that's beyond mind. Because bottom line is, our bodies, even though we're not our body's just a vehicle, our body does show us. If it feels heavy and it feels like it's trying to give you a warning, like, don't go that direction, don't go to that meeting today. You know, this is not serving you. Every time I'm hanging out with this person, I just feel really drained afterwards. And talking of being drained, basically, what we're talking about today, there are two principles in esoteric psychology or solar philosophy that I'm talking about. And that is, we're in one of two places at any one time. We're either connected to the source of where all that we are and radiating light, or we're in a lunar situation where we're taking it. We're drawing on other people's energy. So, for instance, in the books like the Celestine Prophecy, you know, he talked about the control dramas, the four great control dramas: self-pity, aloofness, intimidation, asking people loads of questions. They're all energy-taking dramas that we are in until we get to a place of wholeness within ourselves. And even when we can be not in that drama, and mostly, you know, as we start to deepen into our awakening, we can be mostly feeling whole and radiant and at one with ourselves and connected to source, and then we could get really tired and start an old program again and just get really, really busy, forget to do our meditation, forget to make space for ourselves, and then drop back into the self-pity. Or we go back out with that boyfriend or girlfriend and we just go back into that pattern because the wounding's deep. So today I'm hoping to share with you, if you would like that, like real, you know, some tips of how we can stop operating from these unconscious conditioned patterns. So developing discernment and discrimination, coming back to that second stage of our awakening. How to really not put ourselves into situations where we become vampired energetically, because until we're at that place of deep level of completion and we've gone through this third initiation where the brow centers open, we know how to stand steady in the fire of the present, we're not living in the future, we're not living in the past, we're just with what is and we love it. Prior to that bit, it's very easy for us to be in this place where we're trying to help people, and we operate from trying. It's not an effortlessness. It's like a pushing and a doing rather than a being. And it's just very easy, just at that point when you're ready. I mean, I just talk about how, you know, this particular initiation, it takes about 550 lifetimes. In the old time, in the Piscean period, it could take 550 lifetimes to develop the compassion, the love and the wisdom to be able to truly put yourself into another person's shoes. Now we're in a new paradigm. We're in the age of Aquarius. It's just a whole different ball game, and we've got a new level of access. So it can also be done instantly by really conscious intent to just deepen into this alignment and to center into the heart so strongly, and to want it, and to invoke the solar angel that has been with you individually. Each one of us is guided by a solar angel who's been with you from the beginning of time, all of your incarnations in matter as a human being. Each one of us has come with a solar angel who's helping your own personal development. And to make a conscious relationship with your guiding angel is a top tip, basically. Sounds really basic, but it helps. In the, I love to talk about all the different paths, and in this moment I'd love to share with you, just for instance, around the work of the Christ as Jesus. In that lifetime, in the Pisces period, where he asked John to baptize him, he was asking that to symbolize the washing of the waters, the emotional body, the purification of this very initiation that I'm talking about. That was symbolic for that moment. And, you know, we all can go through our emotional body and to just stop being in the reaction. Because once you get off the emotional treadmill, then we're free from samsara, we're free out of illusion. We've started to take responsibility for our lives, for every action, and we become aware that we're creating it. There's no more blame. There's just no more blame, no matter what the story is. It's interesting because at this point, you know, people might say, well, what about if I've been sexually abused? Or what about, you know, how can that work in every single situation? Well, this is my answer to that, is that the Buddhists would say all beings are enlightened. You know, the source of who you are, the spirit of who you are, is cosmic fire, aspect of deity. It's your divinity. And basically, the Bodhisattva vow is that we renounce that enlightenment and we take a body in order to come in and uplift and to transform and to transmute the bloodline that we've been born through. So just taking a body, and maybe you came into a situation with sexual abuse, but that was because of your consciousness being capable to uplift it, transform it, understand it, and forgive it, and to clean the karma of 7 generations. You know, because, as I say, up until now, humanity hasn't been awakened. And so this is the beginning of a new time. The age of Aquarius is all about cosmic divine order, to drink the nectar of cosmic divine order and ceremonial white magic. That means that in this age to come, we are going to be able to manifest from a place of purity just such a beautiful place to live on this planet. I know that with all my heart. I know that because I've drunk from the nectar of the cosmic divine order, and I've felt the fires of bliss, and I've seen all on the inner plane, and I've seen within myself what we're capable of bringing as our pristine awareness of our divinity and to create from that place. And I've understood that the art of white magic, to manifest without manipulation, without trying to push and force and do trickery and dark magic and suppress, which is what the planet has been built on so far. Now in this age of Pluto being in Capricorn, all that has been built on selfishness, all the structures that have been built on selfishness and greed and suppression have to be dissolved. They cannot continue, and they will be in this 18-year period. It's already meltdown time. If you look at like just what the internet has brought us in our capacity individually to take charge and to promote anything that you would like to, instantly upload on YouTube, instantly, if you've got a poem or an idea or anything you want to do, you don't now longer have to go via the bloody BBC, mediocre, crap, let's keep everyone numbskull dim. You can just bring through consciousness as much as you want and as vividly as you want and get it out there. Each one of you here has within yourself encoded your own part to play within the divine plan, your own beauty, your own as we deepen into our center, we become the center of our own living mandala of light. And we all have great gifts to bring. It's such an auspicious time because nobody can stop this manifestation of the light. And no one can, you know, my understanding, just one little thing that I'd like to share with you is that as our channels are built, as our spine is built for the light of the fire of Kundalini and for our spirit, this fire to travel unimpeded down through the spine to come and awaken the sleeping serpent that sits at the base of the spine so that that can come back up again, just like the Avalon rising symbol over there in the middle with the Hermes, the wings. This is these 3 stages of awakening that I'm talking about today. That is the actual scientific unfolding that's going on in your body as you're awakening. So each right action, each right thought, each conscious positive intention, each act of selfless service, each deepening into stillness, each more feeling of peace that you're building, that you're just building so that this fire can travel without burning you out, and then just make this awakening unfold in your body. And then you can fly in freedom of recognizing that it's really all okay. It's like arriving home into the garden of your heart and feeling that space and that liberation and that deep knowing that all from within, and the beauty of that, knowing from within and actually having accessed the tree of life from within rather than seeking the knowledge from outside of yourself. Because ultimately, when we get to that arrival, all is within. And I sincerely feel and believe that on this earth right now, that there are people who hold the technology in their awareness of being able to transform the light and the fire and the energy of all that we are, directed through our hands and through our being electromagnetically to be stored, so that we are then tapping into the solar energies and radiating that out, and that each one of us individually could light a city. The quality of free energy in the future that is to come is so magnificent. Because imagine, once we come to this wholeness individually, collectively, we won't be raping the earth. Because prior to this integration that I'm talking about, whilst we're pulling from other people their energy, and whilst we're taking from the ground, and we're not nourishing, we're not on the outpouring of giving back. But imagine the paradigm shift that's going to happen the more that people awaken to their inner completion and this connection with Source. Of course, different technologies are going to come. We're not going to need to drain the earth any longer. It's just not going to be within our remit. I'm saying this today because I really want to do my best to inspire a really positive knowing as we go through the door of the beauty of what's to unfold. In ageless, in books like Treatise of Cosmic Fire, it's talked about that the 6th root race will come from Brazil. And I had a beautiful dream about that, and I'd really love to share that with you. I dreamt that I was in the presence of the Buddha of this age, and it was just filled with bliss and fire and awe. And I was in a silent darshan, and these 3 little girls came out, and they were so exquisite. I was like awestruck with their beauty. And every day I see children that I think are exquisitely beautiful, but this was way beyond. They were radiating such luminosity, and I was just so shocked with it. And I was looking at one girl in particular, and I was going, oh my God. And they looked Brazilian. And I was going, you're just so beautiful. Oh my gosh, like that in my mind. And then I felt her melt into my mind, and not just on a basic level telepathy. Telepathy is very normal. I've been experiencing telepathy for 25 years. It's normal for me, and I'm going to in a minute give you the difference of what I understand as psychic energy and telepathic energy. This was way beyond any telepathy that I'd ever experienced before. This was where not just her mental body fused with mine, but her whole sensory feeling fused with me on every, spiritually, atomically, physically, emotionally, mentally. She melded with me. And she said, thank you. And just felt, and I said, oh my gosh, you can hear my words. And she then gave me the transmission that she couldn't just hear my words. She felt my whole presence and being. And I really sincerely feel I was given a glimpse into what will be our 6th root race, of our atomic ability, of this tantric quality of merger and union with each other that is so exquisite and so beautiful. But imagine, to get to that stage, what have we got to do? We have to purify our vehicles right now and have no secrets, because you can't be in telepathy and think you've got something that's so terrible about you that you've got to hide it and keep it suppressed. We have to be in that open radiance and transparency. And this is the work. This is the work of this time, that we're in a speed up of doing this purification work, atonement, at-one-ment. As we atone, we become at one with ourselves. And the starting point is to know our divinity at the deepest level and to honor and love ourselves. We can't bypass that stage. And you know what? We're all brought up to somehow think that that's egotistical. So we have to go beyond that. It's not egotistical to really deeply honor looking in the mirror and seeing God looking back at you and knowing this is divinity, this is beauty. And if you can't see that, then you have to work at that. You have to work at really, really seeing your own inner beauty, that inner glow. And at 4 years old, my auntie, I'm half Indian, by the way, and half Lebanese in this lifetime. I was one of the only children of colour in my school. And my auntie said to me when I was 4, Rita, I don't want you to worry. When you're 18, I'm going to pay for you to have a nose job. And I would just I took that seriously, and I would look in the mirror and I would really think I was so ugly. And I'm just sharing that with you because in my own little work, my own story, it's the one thing, you know, actually, what do I do for a living? I have a clothing business that I love beautifying women and getting them to see their beauty. My clothes are made for light workers, and they're made from, it's all about colour therapy. It's all inspired in colour therapy and ethically produced. And I'm not doing a plug for my clothes business, but what I'm saying is I love to get women to feel beautiful about themselves, and that definitely stemmed from feeling so ugly as a child. I could never look in the mirror and see a pretty little girl because I was always seeing Cinderella had blonde hair and blue eyes, and you know, like I grew up in Ealing and all of that. And I'm just saying that I can identify when you look in the mirror and you don't see God and you don't see beauty. But I'm asking you to go beyond that because it's the beginning of your journey home to the heart of all that you are. You have to make friends and give thanks and go into a depth of gratitude for the preciousness of your being and all that it's taken you to come to this point. And also to find that center inside yourself, because I know from after March the 11th, when Uranus went into Aries, and we had that very strong wobble with in Japan, with tsunami and you know these explosions, and feeling the toxicity of the radiation, and seeing on the headlines of the news that the radiation is here in England, and don't eat spinach and don't eat lettuce, and you know they're my favorite things to eat. I'm still eating them. And it's a deep time. And if we can't look through the brow center, an awakened brow center of seeing the good, the true, and the beautiful, it looks fucking awful, basically, if you don't mind me saying so. So, I just want to share, like, how are we gonna go through these next few months then to get through to 2012 and stay strong in our center and not be scared if there's more earthquakes and more things. There's only one way that we can go through this, because we are being called. That's why I'm here today, really, is to just put out a call very strongly, because we are being called to stand as strong as we can in our center, as radiant as possible, deepening into peace. Because the only way that we can make the change on this planet is coming from our own inner peace. And the only way that we're going to feel that peace is through loving ourselves and trusting our part to play within the divine plan, and knowing that we are in the right place at the right time because we've listened to our body, and we go with what feels the light, the effortless, the beautiful thing to do. And that we don't go to bed before, if we have said something to upset somebody, or we've left something a little bit nebulous or misunderstanding, clear it up. Make the time to reflect on your day. Clear up the crap. Just make sure, you know, I watched my partner leave his body from a road traffic accident 2002. It was a very profound, empowering moment for me. I'm grateful to say that I saw the angels, my whole body went into bliss, but I am so grateful that that morning, after having a row the night before, I might go into tears, I did tell him how much I love him and how beautiful he is. You know, we just don't know when we're going to see each other again, and we have to make the best of each moment. So, yeah, and to just hold each other in a place of seeing the divinity in each other. Because what holds us strong is being around our soul family. I invited a lot of our soul family in here today, and some of you, thank you for coming, by the way. To be around our soul family, that's the Sangha. In Buddhist teachings, it's to take refuge in the teachings the Dharma, the Sangha. It doesn't mean that you have to all be Buddhists. You can take refuge in whatever teaching is going to take you to find your own inner truth, because your wisdom lies within you. And different to the Piscean period, which was about having an outer guru. And don't get me wrong, it was a great period because we learnt to be devotional. We learnt to do the mantras and the different prayers to open the circuitry in our body. But in this age, in the age of Aquarius, it's all about finding the inner teacher. And tomorrow I'm going to be giving a talk in Portal Immortal at 1 o'clock around a subject about the purpose of plant teachers in this age, in the age of Aquarius, and ceremony, and just going deeper into the fire of purification, if you're interested. So, yeah. How long have I got? What should we do next? Let me see, because I've talked about the second initiation. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the third. Oh, we've got plenty of time, good. Okay, so, yeah. Would it be helpful for me to share about the art of manifestation, just in terms of, like, everyone stepping further and deeper into their dharma? And dharma means to walk and radiate the light of the soul. And if you were not here at the beginning, the soul being the merit that you've accumulated from all of your different lifetimes in every good deed, word and action, that becomes that our whole purpose is to be able to radiate the light of your unique transmission of your soul's essence. Each one of us is like the most beautiful, unique, individual flower of consciousness, of exquisiteness. Like I'm sitting in front of some gorgeous, unique, beautiful, individual flowers. Yummy. So, last weekend, by the way, I sat with beautiful master called Muji in Brixton. Wonderful to see in these times. You know, when I was 7 years old and I became aware of apartheid, by the time I was 11, I just used to cry and sob with thinking that I've been born onto a planet where apartheid existed. And then I can't remember, it must have been about 1994, and I celebrated and sobbed the whole day how Nelson Mandela, Master of Wisdom, came into becoming the president after being in prison for 25 years, just by being in the stillness of inner peace in his own meditation and not buying into the duality of separation. That is transformation, that's mastery. And last weekend I sat with Muji, who teaches a complete different path that I understand. So the lineage that I was awoken into when I was 11 was my Tibetan lineage. And I give real thanks for that, all of those lives of spending times doing mantras in caves, because I experienced so much bliss and fire in my body. It gives me diamond strength to cut through whatever. But Muji, he comes from the path of Advaita, and he teaches awareness from a completely different perspective, which I'd love to share with you today, because it's a very fast path. And it's a path that's where you don't have to do 200 million thousand mantras, but you just have to go beyond the mind. You just have to go beyond the mind and become aware of the true self. The self which is always the witness. And to really, even as I'm talking to you now, just see if you can just tap into that aspect that's been there as your consciousness, watching and witnessing, that isn't the personality I, and it's not the mind's noise or chatter, but it's just beyond that, and it's your true self, the being. Because once you start to meditate and become resting in thatness of the self, you come to this same point that I'm talking about, where the space that arises in your body brings you to that same arrival of being here in the present, where you can access all wisdom and understanding from within. And just to spend 20 minutes a day, just, you could just either sit up or lie down, but just to feel the energy through your heart center. And every time a thought arises, just to let the thought just drift like a cloud past. Don't follow the thought. And attempt to just drop into that emptiness. Just really see what happens, because I really know you'll start to notice a new level of harmony that starts to unfold in your life, a new level of ease and effortlessness and flow. I'd like to also, after that, just to feel into that, but just also because I've said that I'd like to share with you easier ways to manifest. One that's certainly working for me in my life is to be able to affirm in the present. So just really deepening into the I am, the great I am of your being. And from that place, to set an intention and to pray. Pray is one of the most, I don't know why, Marianne Williamson just reminded me again, and also the Red Path, the tradition of the Native Americans. They really understand the power of prayer. They do the most beautiful ceremonies where you sometimes smoke sacred tobacco and you just pray for hours. And in that praying, you're just developing muscles within your body, and you're adding fuel to your intention, and you get clearer about what is your prayer. Like, what is your deepest, most innermost prayer? And to know that every prayer that you've ever made will be answered. It's so, I just daily witness that. Every prayer being answered. I'm so grateful. But to get into a deepened prayer, like, okay, yes, you could be, your mother might have cancer, for instance, in a very big stage. If you're going to pray, oh, please, can she live through this? And it's her time to go. We're not making a prayer for her best, but to make the prayer for her to have deepen into tranquility and have space, and that her passing be auspicious, and that in her next lifetime she has a good, auspicious next life. So I'm not saying, oh, pray for the Rolls Royce to arrive in the post tomorrow. Not that kind of prayer. But on the art of manifestation, it is worth understanding about that. It's understanding how you can set a clear intention and how energetically it's quite miraculous of the ability of, once we set an intention, how everything vibrationally comes in to match that. So that it does come to a place where, how can we keep our vibrational frequency working in tandem with our light body, so we can really be full power? Because the more that we're in our center in a conscious way, the more we magnetically attract to us all that we need to bring our intention into birth, manifest it into matter. Because there's a whole thing. So conceive of an idea. So the soul shows the impression of what it is that we would love to bring through and what we could manifest. And the mental body is the lens that receives the telepathic impression from the soul. And then the emotional body has to be clear enough and still enough to be able to let this idea begin to pass through in matter, and just give it enough fuel and energy to not over-destroy it and not under-energize it. And then it can land into matter. Then you can bring an idea birthed onto earth. That's how we manifest things. We can do it consciously or unconsciously. We can unconsciously manifest problems, obstacles, negativity, and things that we're not meant to really be doing. Or we can be in our stillness and consciously manifest what it is that we're here to do and to truly serve the divine plan, unfolding through our being. And your body will be your barometer to show you that. I had something I wanted to share with you around manifesting. Let me think what it is. Oh yeah, so does everybody hear when I say talking about affirming in the present? Does everyone here use the power of affirmations? Anyone here know what I'm talking about? Yeah? So I just want to then share that with those of you that don't, give you an example of, if we use the mantra, I really can't afford it, then we will keep creating I really can't afford it, and we won't be able to afford it because that's what we're radiating out. If we were to, in that moment, catch that our mind was about to say, I really can't afford it, and it was something we would love to do or love to get, and we could say, and that you could even feel this actually, this would be spiritually beneficial for you to get, you could change that to, I'm really grateful that a way is coming to me that I can buy this or get this or do this. I'm setting an intention to make this possible. And this just opens a door and complete different flow happens. So, or, I mean, one that I've been working with just very recently, I just got re-inspired. And the moment I did that, because actually my nature has been to be very much a workaholic. It's like working, being busy. And suddenly something shifted. I'm so grateful. Probably this prayer, actually, that I'm going to read you in a minute, or do with you, rather. I came to somehow just make this decision that I could no longer work in my shop very often. I have a shop in Glastonbury, which I really, I love and work. I enjoy working in there because it means I get to meet people and invite them to things and connect, etc. But just recently I've been also feeling like I really want to paint more paintings. I want to write a book. I'd actually really like time to be in my garden and plant things and just have more space and really nourish myself for the next level of what's unfolding. And somehow I just changed, waking up each day and saying, I'm so grateful that abundance flows through my life with such ease, and I'm so grateful for the sweetness and love and tenderness of all the people around me and that exchange, and that's just what flows. It's just amazing. Suddenly the business just everyone kept coming and buying more clothes, and I don't need to work in there for now, and just really giving thanks. And actually there's even more abundance just about to come down the chute. With a very special thing, but I'll announce that when that happens. In the meantime, I really want to share this beautiful prayer. There's so many prayers that I would love to share. And after this, please do come give me your email address if you like my website, where I tend to put prayers up or any articles that I'm writing or something like that on my Soul-Centered Astrology website. And I'm going to be available for one-to-one individual astrology readings to look at where I do esoteric astrology. And if you're interested to look at where are you in your individual cycle, and to look at the tool set that you've been given in this life to come really fully manifest yourself through. I'm just going to do it at a very cheap price here at the festival. So I'll have a few slots today, a few slots tomorrow. Or you can book with me another time if you want. But let's, if you can, just to sit up and just join me in this prayer, because this prayer is such a powerful affirmation to deepen in our lives. I'm really grateful for it. It's called Consecration of the Sanctuary. Did you see Ravi? Okay. So maybe just to close your eyes, take a few deep breaths through your nose and out through your mouth. And to just really feel the roots from your base chakra going right down into the center of the earth, into our mother's light, ambrosia, and golden energy. And right in the center of the earth is a golden ball of light. Feel your roots connecting with the mother. And to feel yourself align with her sustenance and to feel her presence. And from the top of your head, just to bring your awareness to the light of the Father. And to really just make that connection with your solar angel. And to just feel the awareness of that energy pouring through your spine. In the infinite circle of the divine presence which completely envelops me, I affirm that there is only one presence here. It is harmony, which creates a vibration in all hearts of joy and happiness. Those who choose to enter here will feel the vibration of divine harmony. There is only one presence here. It is love. God is love. Love is the unifying force of all beings. This sanctuary is filled with the presence of love. In love I live, I move, and I exist. Those who choose to enter here will feel the pure and holy presence of love. There is only one presence here, in truth. All that exists here and all that is spoken here and all that is thought here is the expression of truth. And those who choose to enter here will feel the presence of truth. There is only one presence here. It is justice. Justice reigns in this sanctuary. Everything practiced here is inspired and ruled by justice. And those who choose to enter here will feel the presence of justice. There is only one presence here. It is the presence of God who is goodness, and no evil can enter here. There is no evil in God. God who is goodness dwells here, and those who choose to enter here will feel the divine presence of goodness. There is only one presence here. It is God the life force. God is the essential life force of all beings. He is the health of body and mind. And those who choose to enter here will feel the divine presence of life and health. There is only one presence here. It is God the abundance. God is abundant. She makes everything grow and prosper. God expresses herself through the prosperity of all that is carried out here in her name. Those who choose to enter here will feel the divine presence of abundance. Through the esoteric symbol of the divine wings, I am in harmonious vibration with the universal currents of wisdom, power, and joy, and the presence of divine wisdom is manifested here. The presence of divine joy is deeply felt by all that enter here. In the perfect communion between my lower and higher self, which is God in me, I consecrate this sanctuary to the perfect expression of all the divine qualities which are in me and in all beings, the vibration of my thoughts, which are the forces of God in me, which are stored here and radiated to all beings, which creating a center of giving and receiving of all that is good, joyful, and prosperous. I make this prayer in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and in the Mother, the soul, and the collective consciousness of humanity. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Let's just, for one moment, unify our voices with 3 ohms, just to really call that prayer really deeply into your body. So I'm going to just carry on talking from this space, just to really, so we can anchor what we've talked about today. I've got about, let's just double check. Yeah, about 15 minutes or so. So just really wanted to kind of make a prayer around that point, just to remind you about the depth of the power of prayer. Because if you can not feel embarrassed to ask for what you need, to just deepen in that relationship where it's provided, and to have faith and trust that the universe so deeply, fully loves you as an individual, and the only thing of why it's taken all these lifetimes to get to this moment and this point is so that you can fulfill your destiny. So everything has to flow to make that happen. It's so easy to get caught up in feeling unbloody worthy, I'm sorry to say, isn't it? It's just so amazing of how little we feel that it's okay to have, and yet this is other part of ourselves that has this huge expectation, and then we fall into disappointment. It's amazing the battle that goes on within ourselves, which is why I was saying earlier about finding the depth of that rest in the awareness of all that you are in truth, that's not the mind, it's not the emotions, and it's not the body, it's beyond that. Actually, somebody who teaches this, and there are beautiful communities springing up all over the place. I've met a few of these people, and they look so radiant. I think they're called the Great Freedom, and they teach about having bursts and moments of clarity. That's a very good technique to come to that level of awareness that I'm attempting to share with you. I haven't done the trainings because I've already feel very deeply in clarity. But when I listen to them talk, I really relate to that they're teaching to get to that place. If, you know, some people it's good for, but you don't have to. It can still come just from direct realization by you having the courage to face the fire and the magnificence of all that you are. Because basically, the first time I had the courage, I didn't even have the courage actually, the first time I was in a deep enough meditation at 18 to feel the fire for less than 1 split second of the monadic flame within, my emotional body could not sustain that. It's just, it was like, oh, that was scary. That was like full fire. 100,000 bloody volts of electricity through the crown chakra. It takes time to feel and to open, to really stand steady in the emotional body, to feel the true self, to feel the force of that fire, the kundalini, the awareness, and to not freak. So the second time, when I was in a hell realm practically, from having got myself entangled into a pretty heavy relationship, I lost myself, and I give such thanks, because sometimes we do create really hellacious situations so that we can come back into awareness, so that we can say, dear God, please pull me out of this one. I feel I'm in the mire. I'm obscured. I'm so deeply in the emotional treadmill, I can barely walk from one lamppost to another without tripping into this story and believing it. And so I was in that place. And in that place, in a dream state this time, I was grateful to say that I met my mother on the Pleiades, my, the cosmic divine mother. And as she went to touch my hands, I was then able to, I've had just like another 100,000 volts of electricity, and this time I could sustain it for a bit longer in that. And then thankfully in 92, when I met my teacher and I was around, very highly awakened Buddha, then I could calmly feel safe to open to experience the fire of all that I am. And at the time I thought it was him, which is interesting, but now I'm aware that it's all that I am. So to feel the fire of our being is such a thing. It takes poise, it takes steadiness in the emotional body to open ourselves, because it is electric fire. And it's delicious. Once we can just get out of the phenomena, and it becomes normal. And by the way, when, I started off today talking about the first 3 stages of awakening and the 3 initiations that take us to that point. So when we get to that point of the brow center opening, it's not like, it's just then we become normal. Just normal, just like able to be present, drink the nectar, smell the coffee, feel at one with the roses, see the flower of light in each being, see the beauty, and be able to uplift and inspire and just love. It's not till the 5th initiation that we come into the mastery of the heart, which is Jesus Christ was the first master of wisdom who attained that in a body. So when, earlier I was talking about how many lifetimes does it take to build the vehicles of our physical body to be able to radiate the flower of our full divine I am beingness. And it takes time. So the Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, attained to the 3rd initiation of the first being with the brow center open, and he basically gave 84,000 teachings to help you to get to that place. And now in this age, we can even go beyond that, because you've probably done it in previous lives, if you're sitting here actually. I think so, because, you wouldn't even be sitting here whilst I'm rambling on if you didn't really care about the planet and want to anchor yourself as a light worker and to walk the light of peace into the earth. And so there is another whole thing which I haven't talked about today, which is recapitulating the merit of all that you are. It's like a vibrational frequency speed up in your being, where all the merit that you have accumulated starts to radiate through you. It's like in The Matrix, the movie, where you just put the program in, download comes through. So because our nervous system is the tree of life, and if that's jammed up and stressed and contracted and in holding patterns of anxiety, you can't open and feel your full beingness and access all the wisdom that's stored in it, that just unfolds, and where you just really deeply know. So first thing that we have to do is to just make a conscious intention to stop the stress patterns. To just take some deep breaths actually through the nose and out through the mouth, center and cleanse the emotions. Just bringing us back to the present, you know, just whatever it's going to take. Do some gardening, swim, paint. Painting for me takes me straight into right brain. Then I do, because basically if we're trying to work things out through mind and through the left brain, all we'll do is dig another hole. It's only when we can go into the emptiness and spaciousness of this right brain, then it gets revealed of what needs to be done. It's not through the thinking mind. Thinking doesn't help, I don't think. I don't. I just know it comes from a place of revelation. Everything comes from just unfolding. Does what I'm saying make sense? Okay, cool. So, okay, shall I just touch upon Tantra? Meeting at a deeper level with each other, since I've got you all here now. Okay, so at 5 o'clock I'm giving another talk in the little kind of sacred sanctuary, just for 1 hour, just about my favourite subject in the world, really. Because my favourite subject is loving to share that connection with Source, with another, or with groups of people. Because to tap into that nectar and, you know, like bliss for me, it's not like an emotional bliss, it's atomic in the body. It's like fire and radiance, and to get to that place where we can, because we're all yearning for it. Every single person here yearns to be met and to have sacred touch. To just really be, just to have another person know us. You know, in the Bible it says Adam knew Eve and so, and they talked about this word knew for made love. And you know, that's like, we really want that. We want to be able to interact with another from that place of that divine knowing, where just every touch is just the right touch. But to do that and be with another in that way, we have to get out of mind. Because if we're with another and we can't see that person as a divine Buddha or aspect of deity or beautiful Tara or a goddess in front of us, if we can't witness the other from that place of purity, and we're thinking, oh, I really wanted him to touch me there, or she never does it quite like how I like it, or something like that, because there's mind as opposed to meeting and connection. So, because there's not very long, I would love to give you a 2.5-day retreat on this subject in reality, but in the meantime, I'm just going to just give you like my favorite few tips, which is, whenever it is, when we're inviting, in Tantra, in the highest levels of Tantra, it's the woman that would invite the man to come and meet her. So the woman's the initiator. And that takes a lot of courage, and it takes a lot of self-love, and it takes a lot of knowing of our own divinity. And then to set the tone, and to set the tone by making your space sacred. And I haven't done that talk with you today, which is, please make sure that your house is free of clutter, and that, you know, that every aspect of it is a representation of your innermost being. Get rid of the stuff that doesn't serve you, and all the grey and the just, you know, like, just make each place, part of your house, like sacred spaces. That helps. to keep you in a higher vibration as light workers aligned. And so anyway, so make your room beautiful, put petals around your bed, put beautiful smells, and with having done your meditation, that you're going to honor another being and to really give to them, because we have to set the tone. We're the mums as well. You know, like if we're there complaining, bitching about our guys, and we're never going to progress. Basically, what we put into our sons as mothers is how they're going to be as lovers when they become of age. You know, every touch, everything that actually comes back out the other end. So if your lover hasn't been imbued with beautiful sacred touch and massage and nurturing from his own mother, which is unlikely, or not, I don't know, and he hasn't come to that place of realization of how to approach and be soft and gentle and peel back all the layers and the petals of your being to enter you with such pristine awareness and precision and honor, then you have to bring that to him and show him and ask him to sit with you and witness and meditate with you and connect to the source, and then hold and honor him and touch him on all his meridians and minor centers, and just bring that awareness so that it can feel your love pouring through the chakras and to the sacred points, and then to just join through the heart. And I can't really go into the depth of that now, but that's just a little taster inspiration. Actually, I think I've just put up a deeper meditation on that on YouTube recently, so if you want to, you could even listen to it together, because women are shy. They want their men to meet them in this beautiful sacred way, and we're shy to be able, because no man likes to be told what to do. Totally not. Don't do that. That won't work. I'll tell you now, you have to inspire an invitation through an embodiment, not through telling him, like, now, this is like, I had one, actually I won't go there today. Okay, but so what I do want to say though, up the subject of Tantra, the highest place of alchemical union and divine bliss within our own being, as we go through this third initiation, is that we come into a place of emptiness, and in the emptiness we experience the fire of space, and in that we can drink the nectar of the cosmic divine order, and it gets revealed more in the different stages. And it's like, instead of it being like a one level orgasm, it becomes a multi-dimensional orgasm in every cell of your body, opening into liquid bliss. And you get to experience the cosmic lovemaking of the father and the mother, which is happening all the time, everywhere at once. And I'm not exaggerating. If you look at, I'll talk about this scientifically, if you look at a sunflower or a pine cone, this is the Fibonacci sequence, the frequency of the golden mean spiral, which is when matter merges with spirit. This ratio of light unfolds and unspirals. And that's going on throughout all of nature, everywhere, through all the flowers and the fruits and the vegetables. It's happening everywhere. It's happening through us, but the only thing is our mind obscures our capacity to feel the bliss of that. So the quicker that we can empty the mind, and that doesn't mean that we become dull, unintelligent people that have no mind. We become vividly aware and knowing what needs to be done, as opposed to thinking through mind. But we're in touch with the cosmic love. That's why you see all the Shaktis, they're just like in the Tao, because Shiva's dancing through their bodies. They're able to experience literally the dance of the cosmos through their being. just unfolding. It's just fire of bliss, just making, just making all these mudras. I hope that was inspiring, and I'm going to be available outside. I've got some pieces of paper here to write your email address if you want to be on my email list to do with other talks or other things that I do. And oh yeah, and I am holding a Tantra retreat weekend in Glastonbury on the weekend of the 10th of June, so it's quite soon. It's next weekend, okay, yeah, it is. Oh my gosh, yeah. No, you can do either. It's in Glastonbury, it's at Healing Waters, but you can either come and be residential. It's going to have most exquisite gourmet raw food, and we're going to do some very beautiful things and go very deep. It's 2.5 days. And I can email you about that, yeah. And what else? And then if anyone missed it, I'm giving a 1-hour talk on Tantra tonight in the Sacred Dome at 5 o'clock, not tonight. And tomorrow on to understand the purpose of plant teacher medicines in the Aquarian Age in Portal Immortal. And I'm available to give esoteric astrology insight readings on a 1-to-1 level. I'm going to be near Portal Immortal for that, and you can come book a session with me if you'd like. And but before we go, one more prayer, really making a deep prayer. Great Spirit, in the name of all that is holy, calling upon the Ancient of Days, our guides and protectors, and in the name of the Father and the Son and of the Holy Spirit, in the name of the Mother, the Soul, and the collective consciousness of humanity, I invoke the love, the light, and the wisdom of your ashram, soul, and monad to guide you into the right activity within the divine plan, and to clarify, stimulate, and to inspire your mind, to energize, heal, and vitalize your physical bodies, and to transform your feelings and emotions so you can stand in clear radiance of the light of your soul. Through this day and every day to serve the One. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. I give thanks that light, love, and wisdom now restores the balance on planet Earth. Light, love, and wisdom now restores the balance on planet Earth. Light, love, and wisdom now restores the balance on planet Earth. And so it is. May the light of Spirit shine upon us, upon all beings, in all planes and all dimensions, now and forevermore, for the ultimate good of all. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om.